Good afternoon, friends. It's 3:55 p.m. I'm Angel Wallace, and it's August 16, 2020. Excuse me, it's September. Oh, God, why do I do that? Take two. Good afternoon, friends. It's Angel Wallace here. It's 3:55 p.m. It's September 16, 2020. And today in our news coverage, we're going to be covering Nevada. Apparently our governor has gone wacko, and I want to share this to you. Before we get started, censorship has become, they're hitting people really hard now, especially popular people. And not only have they taken me down from one of my YouTube channels, well, I'm in jail. I still have a week to go, so that gives me another week to finish up my website. I'm going to introduce it with Oscar, who has developed the work site for me. We worked together on this, and that'll probably come in a few days. I need to get out of jail first because I want to launch it on my regular Angel Wallace YouTube channel. That's where I have over 70,000 viewers, and that's where I want to make my introduction. Okay, so until then, I'm on Angel's Corner on YouTube. I have the 3 channels on YouTube: Angel Wallace, Angel Corner, and Wallace Productions. Also, I'm on BitChute. BitChute isn't that user-friendly. I'm sorry. I always try to leave a link. I haven't had time now to upload most of my current, because I have about 5 or 6 new videos that nobody has ever seen. We have to play catch-up from the time I was showing you about Hitler. That's where we need to start. You need to watch part 2 and then work your way up from there, because we've lost a lot of information that you need to listen to and you need to understand about. Okay, so this one here is Nevada governor. He's turned a really nasty nose up to the people and to President Trump. It says Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak says Trump took reckless and selfish actions by holding an indoor rally. President Donald Trump hosted a crowded indoor political rally Sunday in Nevada, ignoring objections by the governor and others that he might have spread COVID-19 to unknown numbers of people. And tonight, President Donald Trump is taking reckless and selfish actions that are putting countless lives in danger here in Nevada, said Governor Sisolak, a Democrat. Demon Rat, the president, appears to have forgotten that this country is still in the middle of a global pandemic. Trump, who has held outdoor rallies in recent months, said the owner of the building near Las Vegas thought it was unfair for the president to be denied permission for indoor events. He says, "Tell your governor to open up your state," Trump told hundreds of supporters, most of them packed together on a factory floor, many of them not wearing masks given out by the Trump campaign, because we're not going to do the masks anymore. Not only is that a submission to the government, to the cabal, to the deep state, whatever you want to call them. I call them the satanic cult. Okay, the Illuminatis. That's where they all started back in the day. I'll have to go over that with you someday soon. It's fascinating. Anyway, that's why we're not going to be wearing those masks anymore. And another thing, did you know that when you wear your mask and stand 6 feet apart, it's the cult's way of, they're putting their spells on. And that's what they do. They hide behind masks. They stand 6 feet apart of each other wearing their robes. And then they do their chanting. And they've had a spell on us since 9/11. I know you're going to think I'm whack, but too bad. I don't care. It says, otherwise, the president delivered his standard stump speech. Stump? His standard Trump speech filled with full-throated... What? Okay, now remember, we're listening to someone other than what I normally listen to. This is how they're portraying our president. The president delivered a standard stump speech filled with full-throated attacks on opponent Joe Biden and the Democrats over violence in cities, energy development, running mate Kamala Harris, foreign policy, trade, immigration, and the party's left-wing agenda. Now, it was Trump's first indoor rally since a June 20th event in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that preceded a spike in coronavirus cases in that city. That's a lie. Campaign staff members and Secret Service agents tested positive for the virus right before that Tulsa rally. Before the Tulsa rally. The Nevada rally at manufacturing business in Henderson near Las Vegas likely violated state restrictions on large gatherings in the midst of the COVID pandemic. Henderson officials issued a compliance letter and verbal warning to the event organizers. Kathleen Richards, a spokeswoman for the city of Henderson, said that gatherings of more than 50 people in a private or public setting is prohibited. And if the governor's directives are not followed, the city may assess a fine of up to $500 per violation, as well as suspend or revoke the business license. Biden aides criticized the rally as a threat to public health. Holding a mass event indoor reflects the same toxic attitude that has crippled Trump's incoherent pandemic response, cost over 193,000 American lives, killed millions of jobs, and needlessly torn the nation apart, when we need to come together in the moment of crisis. Well, isn't that what they want? Don't they want this threat to spread so that we can stay indoors, so that we can vote by mail? Isn't that what they want? Yes. But they turn around and they make us sound like we're the ones. Do you understand now what we mean by the mirror? They do all the dirty work and then they blame us. Capiche? In a statement, the Trump campaign said that everyone attending the event received a temperature check, which is true. I received one. It was provided a mask and encouraged to wear it, and had access to hand sanitizers. That's all true. If people choose to wear one, they did, and if they didn't, they didn't. And it was like maybe 1% that even wore them. If you can join tens of thousands of people protesting in the streets, gamble in a casino, or burn down small businesses in riots, you can gather peacefully under the First Amendment to hear from the President of the United States, said campaign spokesman Tim Murtaugh. Since the problems in Tulsa, Trump has conducted a series of smaller rallies outdoors at airports. The indoor rally capped a day that continued a Western campaign swing by raising money, attacking Democrats, and soliciting Latino voters in Nevada. I have achieved more Hispanic Americans in 47 months than Joe Biden in 47 years, Trump said, while criticizing his Democrat challenger during Latino roundtable meeting at a Vegas hotel. And that's true. It's all true. Biden has had 48 years in the government and has done nothing. Why would you want him? Now that he's old, he can't understand what's going on. He can't even make a sentence and put a sentence together because his faculties aren't there anymore. And if it's a clone, as we believe it is, he's just breaking down because clones are no different than anything else. You got to repair them. We even have to be repaired. So get off this high horse about what you think or not think and really open your mind to what's going on, people. In remarks at the roundtable, Trump stressed the impact of policies on Latino residents, a key constituency in battleground states which include Arizona, Florida, and Nevada. And Arizona is on Trump's itinerary on Monday as he hosts a similar roundtable in Phoenix. Trump is also scheduled to visit California to review the damage from the deadly wildfires. And there's a video I wanted you to see. This was in Henderson, Nevada. Henderson is just a few miles right out. You just drive, the main drag out, and then you hit the next city. It's like few blocks. I mean, you just literally blend in with the other, okay? They're making it sound like it's a totally separate city, which it is, but it's right there. It's no different than Reno and Sparks. You just drive down 4th Street from Reno, and boom, you're already in Sparks. So that's what that is. So okay, so I really wanted to show you the one where it talked about in Reno. Okay, now what Henderson was trying to do, Sisolak is trying to do, is now he's going to withhold any money that's going to come to that particular city, and he's going to withhold their money that's coming in from President Trump's relief funds. And isn't that the most sickest thing you can ever think about? It's so evil, it's disgusting. I mean, that's the only thing I can talk about. Good afternoon, my brothers and sisters. It's 3:43 p.m. It's August 16th, 2020, and I'm Angel Wallace. We've got some good things going on in the news today, and I just have to cover some of these because it's needed. Anyway, we've got this from MSN.com. It says, William H. Gates II, a lawyer and philanthropist, best known as the father and longtime advisor of Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates, has died at 94. Gates died peacefully Monday at his beach home in Washington State from Alzheimer's disease, the family announced. Why is that special to me? I don't know. I think because I look at it as if this one is involved in satanic cults, that one is too. You only learn things from your parents, right? Or those closest to you. And, maybe he did die of natural causes. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But that one just kind of piqued my interest, so I had to share that with you. I don't know if any of you knew. Twitter suspended the Chinese virologist who claimed that COVID-19 was lab-made. Now, if you missed it, she was on Tucker giving this information out. And I was watching Tucker today, and I understand that they removed Tucker's YouTube video because of it. And they suspended her account. But she's giving proof, and she's giving truth because she worked right there. I mean, come on. Like, how, what's his name? Biden. Come on, man. So let's read up on it. This is a hero, man. She's stepping out on, she knows she could get killed at any time. But she's stepping forward to give out truth. It says, Twitter has suspended the account of a Chinese virologist who has publicly claimed that COVID-19 was developed in a Wuhan laboratory. And Li Mengyan's account was taken down on Tuesday after she accused China of intentionally manufacturing and releasing COVID-19. Well, we've heard that information way before Li Meng has even made this announcement. But because it's truth, they're going to stifle her. Li Mengyan account was taken down on Tuesday, and the Twitter account remained down on Wednesday, and a message on the page now reads, account suspended. Twitter suspends accounts which violate the Twitter rules. Twitter has not commented on the suspension of Yan's account. The social media giant started putting warning messages on tweets in May that contained disputed coronavirus claims. It says it is not clear if there was one specific tweet from Yan that violated Twitter's policy. Well, we know it isn't. They're attacking her just like they attacked me. It says, in an interview with Fox News' Tucker Carlson on Tuesday night, Yan claimed she was suspended because they don't want people to know the truth. And that's exactly what I just said. Yan, who is a former researcher at the Hong Kong School of Public Health, and said that COVID-19 was man-made and not from nature. Again, we've known that for a while now, but many more are coming out and speaking about it. She says, I have evidence to show why they can do it, what they have done, and how they did it. So she's got the whole ingredients. The scientific world also keeps silent truths together with the Chinese Communist Party. They don't want people to know this truth. That's why I get suspended. I get suppressed. I am the target the Chinese Communist Party wants disappeared. And after the segment aired, the Fox News show also accused Facebook of censorship after saying they had been blocked from sharing the interview segment on the social media platform. A video of the internet segment posted on the Tucker Carlson Tonight Show page now comes with a warning that reads false information. And this post repeats information about COVID-19 that independent fact checkers say is false. And we know that fact checking never came into play until truth started arising and rearing its head, right? So now that, people are wanting the truth, now these platforms saying, oh my goodness, well, let me fact check that for you. Well, it's from their own people. And in fact, what's the name of that other? Snopes. Excuse me. There's so much smoke out here today in Reno. It's the fires. Smoke have just inundated our city. And I just came from outside and it's so gray outside you can't even see the mountains. Anyway, the fact checkers they have is they're working on their own team. So you know that we're never going to win. And here's Tucker Carlson tonight. Chinese whistleblower to Tucker. This virus was made in the lab and I can prove it. Update. Facebook is trying its best to censor this video. Let's see if we can watch it. That must be the Wuhan lab, huh? So look at the dirty water. Is that all waste? Anyway, they claim it's false information, that the post repeats information about COVID-19 that independent fact checkers say is false. And we know that's a lie, okay? We just know that's a lie. And that's too bad because I just saw it on Tucker Carlson. But apparently they've taken it all down. Okay, so I found this interesting. I know you're probably saying, what in the hell are you doing on CNN? But I found this and I got to share it with you. CNN asked Trump supporters outside the rally to explain QAnon theory. And this was posted, back in 2018 by Morgan Salter. CNN asked supporters of President Trump to explain QAnon, a right-wing conspiracy theory. Intense interviews outside of his Pennsylvania rally on Thursday night. Gary Tushman asked Trump supporters, some of whom were wearing or displaying Q gear at the rally, about the wide-ranging and vague conspiracy theory spread under the name QAnon. Trump supporter Timothy Rasmussen told CNN that said Q represents a movement. It's a shift. I can feel it coming. Some call it the Great Awakening, Rasmussen said. Of course, they removed the video. QAnon is the people that believe in what Trump's trying to do to change our country, one supporter wearing a red Q shirt told CNN. Tushman said that the supporters' claim is a generalization. More specifically, what QAnon is a fringe movement in which many baseless conspiracy theories are discussed on the internet, organized around the idea of an anonymous and well-connected person or persons nicknamed Q. Trump supporters said that QAnon is an entity of several people high up in the federal government with security clearance. Now, how do you know that? Tuchman asked. Well, I'm just telling you that's what it appears to be, one Trump supporter responded. So if you don't have any proof of that, you're just guessing, Tuchman said. And you don't have any proof there isn't, the Trump supporter responded. Tuchman pointed out that the press is a major target of the QAnon following. Trump has a contentious relationship with the press and calls the fake news and the enemy of the people. Well, you guys are our enemy, one Trump supporter said, pointing a finger at Tuchman during the interview. So you don't believe in the First Amendment? The CNN reporter asked. I totally believe in the First Amendment, the man wearing a Make America Great Again hat responded. Well, you don't. You just said the press is the enemy, Tuchman argued. You guys are weaponized. You are totally weaponized by the CIA, the Trump supporter claimed. I just thought that was funny that CNN went out there to go and try and find what they could. And then, of course, they don't even have the balls to leave their videos up so that they can see them asking the people. These people are crazy. I just needed to share that. I ran across this article. It says Sisolak blasts Trump's Nevada rallies may alter directives. It was posted on Wednesday, the 16th of September. I'm a little behind, but I fell into these, and it's just upsetting me because I just want you to see what these governors are doing, okay? People don't read about this, and they don't hear about it. Carson City, Nevada. Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak sent a letter to Vice President Mike Pence on Wednesday asking for some clarity and explanation in response to President Trump's decision to hold 2 campaign rallies in Nevada over the weekend. In the letter, Sisolak asks why the president's campaign knowingly packed thousands of people into 2 venues to hold public gatherings that are categorized as high risk. The letter is a departure from Sisolak's previously moderate tone toward the White House over its handling of the coronavirus pandemic, and Sisolak had refrained from heavily criticizing Trump's response to the crisis until the president announced his plans for the weekend rallies. You can imagine my confusion and utter disbelief over the contradictory and dismissive behavior demonstrated by the president, Sisolak said in a letter which was released by the governor's office. The first-term Democrat said the president's behavior was an insult to Nevadans who had sacrificed life events like graduation ceremonies, weddings, and funerals in the name of public health. I'm beyond frustrated at the lack of clear and concise and consistent messaging from the president on how to behave during this public health crisis. Trump raised the issue at the White House on Wednesday during a rambling news conference as he discussed the coronavirus. He criticized Nevada's plan to mail ballots for this November's election to active voters because of the virus, called Sisolak a political person, and referred to the state as a place where they try to stop you from making a speech. They forced us inside because of what they did, the president said. He appeared to be referring to his campaign's move to scrap their original plans to hold rallies at airport hangars when local officials warned they'd violate rules. So shortly after Sisolak's office released the letter, the governor's campaign team sent out fundraising in emails criticizing Trump for holding the rallies and asked supporters for donations. The governor is up for re-election in 2022, and we've got petitions galore to recall him. Sisolak also said Wednesday that state officials will review coronavirus directives, including the 50-person cap on public gatherings and the 50% capacity limit at businesses, including casinos. The purpose, Sisolak said, will be to see how we can make adjustments that are Nevada-specific and tailored for the economic and social activities in our state. He said the outcome of the review could affect everything from church gatherings to business meetings. Well, that's bullcrap because he lets anybody go into the casinos. There is no limit. And isn't it strange that everybody else has to keep their mouth covered while the smokers get to smoke and the drinkers get to drink? Now you tell me that. What's wrong with this man? He's a demon. He's a part of the deep state. And he knows he had full reign of his own state to do what he felt was right for the people. And he locked everybody down. So don't blame President Trump, because Trump's trying to open up the world again. I mean, our country, the states. Because people are out of work. They're tired of just getting handouts from the government that don't even get handed out. And they want to go back to what normalcy that we used to believe in, or what we think that we have. There's some sort of normalcy that has to come into play, and that will happen once we get rid of Sisolak. And like I say, there's plenty of, we had a lot of people over there with booths that were that had paperwork to sign so we can get rid of him. Recall. The purpose, Sisolak said, will be to see how we can make adjustments that are Nevada specific. The announcement arrives after critics of the first-term Democrat capitalized on perceived discrepancies between the directives. After thousands attended rallies for President Donald Trump in Minden and Henderson over the weekend, in defiance of Sisolak's directives, detractors complained about how casinos and restaurants could welcome more than 50 people while the president theoretically could not add his rallies. Now you got to get this, understand this. Minden is 45 minutes from Reno. It's just a little farm town. That's all it is. And where we gathered was at the airport. Henderson, Nevada. That's just, you just drive down the block and boom, you're in Henderson, right? But Henderson is away from the Strip. So, actually, Trump did him a favor. He could have been downtown at the Strip and had everybody at the Strip come to see him, but he didn't do that. Okay, so this guy is just really blowing everything out of proportion in my view. While the Gaming Control Board has implemented practices to ensure compliance with distancing and face covering requirements, no state agency regulates outdoor activities, Sisolak said. He said 50% capacity is a totally different thing when it comes to casinos. They're not in one area. Give me a freaking break. Same thing with the rallies. They were all away from the maddening crowds. So he's just contradicting himself. A review of the 50-person camp could affect the ongoing battle between the state and Calvary Chapel in Dayton, which has challenged the directive in court, claiming it infringes upon its religious freedom, particularly when casinos are allowed to open. And after the U.S. Supreme Court upheld Sisolak's emergency directives in July, the church refiled briefs in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in September. Hallelujah. Sisolak also said he has yet to decide whether the state will attempt to claw back the $8.9 million of coronavirus relief dispersed to Douglas County on the condition that they adhere to state directives. That is bullshit. Just because they allow Douglas County is Minden, Nevada, okay? It's frustrating to say that he's going to withhold millions for the coronavirus release because he's pissed. He's acting like a kid is what he's doing. They got an allocation in the state, including signing an agreement to follow all directives, Sisolak said. In order to receive the funds, county officials signed an eligibility certification document pledging adherence to directives. Douglas County spokeswoman Melissa Blosser told the Record Courier the county officials approved the rally after weighing the state directives versus the First Amendment. Nevada reported 208 new confirmed coronavirus cases and 12 deaths on Wednesday, bringing the statewide totals, and this is a friggin' lie, to 74,248 cases and 1,494 deaths. The downward trend in new cases and fatalities prompted New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut to remove Nevada from their travel restrictions, which required residents to quarantine 14 days to visit the state. We have learned over the course of the past 6 months that we cannot let our guard down. Oh yeah, but bring people in to spend their money. The writer was Michelle L. Price. She contributed this reporting from Vegas. So do you see what they're doing in these states? They're just disgusting. It just really just makes me ill. It says the longest line I have ever seen to get into Trump's rally in Nevada. And look how smoky it is. That's all that smoke from all the fires from California. Because Minden is further south. So you're about 25 minutes past the road that'll take you up, the highway that'll take you up to Lake Tahoe. We're gonna win here for Trump in Nevada. I want you to watch this.
There you go.
Look at that line, trying to get in to see the rally.
Never ends.
And I did not want to go back there, so I told my friend Kat, I said, no, we're in that wrong line. So what we did is we made friends with the people at the beginning of the line, and that's how we got in early. Otherwise, I would have been at that very rear of the line, and I did not want to do that because Kat hobbles. Okay, she can't walk right because she had knee surgery, and she's very slow. So, to me, that was the right thing to do, and that way it got her on a bus and it got us over there so we wouldn't have to walk so much. And then, like I said, we got lost. They turned us around when we came out, So we ended up having to walk a good, about 2 miles before we even got to a policeman to take me to my car. It happens. And that's what it was like. How awesome is that? Sorry I'm showing you this again. Look at the people running to get the front seats. I don't blame them.
God damn it! Fuck off! Excuse me! Back up!
So you know what? In the time that I have been here in Reno, Carson City, and Minden, because I haven't been up to Lake Tahoe this year, we're the only two that wears Trump gear. This is the first time I have seen Nevadans in Trump gear. Okay.
Could I ask the fake news to take your cameras and show all the way back there for hundreds of yards, all the way back there. Take your cameras. Go ahead, as far as the eye can see. No, tell NBC News it's not 1,000 people.
I'm right over here.
You
I'm
can't
right
see
in
it.
this area.
You can't see it down here. You won't believe how many people. That thing goes back. So the bottom line is, when we win, America wins. That's what's happening. And nobody's done to China what I did. Look.
I love him. It's called a peaceful protest. I was holding 3 signs of peaceful protest. Oh, I just love it. Waiting in line to get in, and you got to go through security. So I just had to show that. I just thought that was fascinating. Oh, you need to listen to this though.
But here we are, and this is really amazing. The governor tried to stop us, he couldn't. But think of this, he's in control of millions of votes. Here's a guy calling venues, telling them not to have the rally, calling different venues, don't have the rally. We're not gonna let you have the rally. And he's calling this governor, who is a political hack. He was a political hack, and then he became governor. And this is the guy that we're entrusting with millions of ballots, unsolicited ballots, millions and millions, and then we're supposed to win these states. And we have a guy that would do that where he won't let us have it. We call it a protest, and therefore we can do it. But you want to know something? It's a disgrace. So who the hell is going to trust? You know, they say, trust government. Well, how would you trust a guy that fought that we aren't here, that we can't have all these thousands of people? Boy, you are really back far. Look at that. No, but seriously. And now he's in charge of the election and the millions of ballots. So if I'm up like millions of votes, he can rig the election. He can rig the election. And I'll tell you what, whether it's in North Carolina, whether it's in Michigan, whether it's in other states where they're going to be sending out 80 million ballots. And it's Democrats. They're trying to rig this election. At every single place in the last year and a half, go modern day, forget about tiny amounts, a congressional race in New York, a small number of votes. If you go to New Jersey, if you go to Virginia, if you go to Pennsylvania, if you go to California, look at some of these races. Every one of these races was a fraud, missing ballots, and I don't mean like 1%, I mean like 20%, 25%. They're trying to rig the election. They should make people, if you register, if you want a solicited ballot, that's where you ask for it. You have to sign papers, you get it, because you can't be there. That's one thing. When they send 80 million ballots to people, they have no idea where they're going. Actually, they probably do have a good idea where they're going, and that's our problem. They send 80 million ballots out. Where are they going? Who are they sending them to? Are they sending them to certain areas and not other areas? Are they sending them to Democrat areas? These are all controlled by Democrat governors, like your politically motivated governor. So just to finish on that, he's a guy that tried to silence us by not having this, and it ended up, our crowd turned out to be a lot bigger than NBC, which is owned by Comcast. C-O-N, Comcast. C-O-N-C-A-S-T, Comcast. It's really Comcast, but I call it Con because it's a whole con. I'll tell you what, you know, they talked in the old days, I think it should still be, news when they broadcast had to be reasonably accurate, right? And they had licensing. Today they can do whatever the hell they want. It's fake news and it's a disgrace. And you know what, back there, and I'll tell you, it's hurting our country. It's hurting our country. They're the biggest problem that this country has is the fake news media. Worse than the Democrats, because, you know, the Democrats and their partners, they play together.
I just had to let you listen to that because that just solidifies everything. This swing that's going on with the Democratic governors and our president. And they're all doing that.